Right.
Apologise, it's going to be very, very shaky on the
Yes,
way.
all right.
That's fine. Rachel Rose here talking all things boxing, and I'm in the back of a cab with Spencer Brown for a new series. No, it's not going to be a new series. We're just on the way to the weigh-in, and we thought this would be the best time to do an interview.
Yeah, I've never done one like this. I think I did one before with somebody in New York, but yeah, this is the first time in a London cab.
Yeah, it's quite. I mean,
It's like being in the Mile High Club, isn't it?
I wouldn't know if I'm honest, Spencer. I wouldn't know.
Nor would I, to be quite honest.
So forgive me, viewers, for the bouncy, but it brings character into the interview. I
Yeah,
feel, don't you think?
yeah, great.
So we're on the way to the weigh-in, the Parker Wardley weigh-in, and it's been a good lead up, and it feels like it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, look, I think it'll be everything that they talk about, and everything that we presume the fight's going to be. It's Fabio Wardley's up against it. Joe Parker's the favourite. What's going to happen in the fight? Fabio Wardley's got a great equaliser, hasn't he? But Joe Parker's got the experience. He's fit as a fly. He's had a great camp. His boxing IQ is very good, Joe.
Yeah.
And I feel that there are levels, and I think that Fabio Wardley might have stepped up a level too far. But, I mean, I spoke to Tyson Fury about this the other day, and he said to me that Fabio Wardley can properly fight, and he's very awkward, and he's got a very awkward style about him as well. And he because he'd never had an amateur career, and he done the white collar scene. I used to promote unlicensed boxing and white collar boxing 20 years ago, and I've seen wrestlers knock out good amateur boxers, knock them spark out, because you know what is going to happen with an amateur boxer. You don't know what's going to happen with the wrestler, do you? You don't think he can fight. All of a sudden, he knocks somebody out, and it's the same type of thing. There's no amateur experience, but he's very awkward, and he's got his own way of doing things, and he's a very dangerous individual.
I think that was something that Fraser Clark was talking about, is that because he's got that kind of almost green energy with how he's come in. Because
I think Fraser's right. I didn't actually watch that interview, but I'm sure that what he was talking about, the same sort of thing that I was talking about, where you don't know what's coming. You can't. It's very unpredictable. You just don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And we've seen that happen. Well, look what happened with Francis Ngannou and Tyson. You didn't see that coming, and all of a sudden, whack. And it can happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime.
No, I think that's probably the biggest risk with Fabio in this fight for Joseph, is the fact that he can be unpredictable, and he can also, hit very, very hard. It's that thing when he can't switch off. He can't switch off for a second. But I think obviously Joseph's going to come in knowing that, right?
Yeah, Joseph will have weighed everything up. This fight could end quite quickly. For me, it's 8, 9, and 10. They're the rounds. It might even go into a championship round. Who knows? But for me, I really fancy Joe strongly in this one. In fact, of all the bets I've had and all the people I follow and watch, and I don't get too many wrong. And this one, I really fancy Joe. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a great evening. As we go on, I'd like to talk about you for a bit, if that's all right.
Yeah, if you want to. There's not a lot to talk about me.
Well, I think
Hamburger King of Blackpool.
Well, I'm curious because I'm a failed fighter. I have a heart problem, so I spent a long time trying to fight. Actually, did the same as Fabio. Did a white collar. That was the only way I could get in the ring. And and then decided that I wasn't meant to be a fighter, so I became a coach, then moved into media, and I'm looking at how else I can...
A very good coach, I believe, as well.
Thank you very much. You heard it here first, people. Spencer said I was great. But I'm always intrigued about the different levels and the different areas of the industry. So how did you get into this, and what made you fall in love with it?
I boxed some unlicensed myself years ago. I've done a bit of amateur boxing as well years and years ago. Played rugby for a long time. And I was a boxing nut from when I was a kid. I went to the Sugar Ray Leonard Hagler fight as a kid with my mates, and they were a lot older than me, and sort of couldn't get into any of the bars, or could get in but wouldn't get served anywhere. And I sort of fell in love with it from there. I got a bit obsessive with all the heavyweights, and Larry Holmes was my favourite fighter, and I started putting shows on 20 years ago. I would have thought now, 20 years ago, I put my first show on, and it was an absolute failure. So I thought, right, well, I'll have one more go at it. And then the second show I put on, it was I think 1,500 people sellout. So from there, I was doing that for a long time, and I decided to get into the dinner talking business and bring all the big stars over, and I ended up bringing all my heroes over. From Larry Holmes, he was my, I think him and Ernie Shavers were my first ever people I brought over. Then I brought Sugar Ray Leonard over, and Joe Frazier. Just before he died, I brought him over. Then we progressed. We had 4 or 5 tours with Mike Tyson, and I just got not a bad name in the industry from those people. So in the end, I could bring anybody over. I had everybody's phone number, and I carried on for years and years and years. And I started doing commercial sponsorship deals and memorabilia, and I'd do big signings with people. Anthony Joshua, tell you we were very sort of we were very active with him at first, because in those days social media wasn't like it is now. It was unheard of, really. So what we used to do to bring the fighters' profiles up, we used to tour around England and bring the fighters to different venues, and people would turn up and listen to them and shake hands. And what we always said, and this is something to consider. It's all right me speaking to you now, and we're having a chat, and if I go up to you, I have a picture with you, I shake your hand, you got a connection, an instant connection, and you know whether you like somebody or you don't, or I didn't like him or I did like him. And that's how we used to do it. So every person that shook hands with somebody and got a connection, there'd be 10 more people who they would go and tell. Now, if you've got 1,000 people in, you're getting over to 100,000 people. And we used to do these events all over. They were great events, and we used to have thousands of people turning up. And from there, I'd done that, and then I sort of bumped into Tyson Fury when he was at his lowest ebb. And I'd done a few shows in beforehand, and it all went wrong for him. And I sort of said to him, look, do you fancy coming to do some stuff with me? He said, I'd love to, but you'll never be able to sell me now. Look at the state of me. I'm 28 stone, and nobody's interested. I said, I disagree with you. I said, we'll start small, but I guarantee you all the people you lost as fans, we'll get them all back. They'll see what a nice guy you are. They'll come and meet you, and they'll see that what your heart's really about. And I stuck with him, stuck by him, and that's how it all happened. I said, but you've got to fight again. You've got to fight again. I'll do that if you. So he says, yeah, I'm going to fight again. Don't worry. And he had this relationship with Ben Davidson, and we were sort of all in it together. And sort of he done the trilogy, and then he just said to me, why don't you I want you to become the full manager, not the commercial manager, the full manager, and let's see what you can do. He said, because at the moment I'm not getting a fight, and I can't seem to negotiate for a fight. And luck would have it, the gods were looking down on me. Turkey Al Sheikh sent 2 guys to my house, and they wanted Tyson to fight. And it was my first month as being the proper manager, because I didn't know whether I could do it really. I don't know, I wasn't that confident. And next thing, we landed the Ngannou fight, and I rung Usyk's team up and said, look, there's been a lot of talk about us fighting, why don't you meet me in New York and get, I've got full consent to get you in and to do the deal with you and Tyson. It's a big money deal, let's get it done. That's what happened. Wow. And ever since, I've been here where I am now.
That's a really cool story.
And I sort of, along the way, sort of other fighters asked me to manage them, and They knew what sort of I'd done with TYSON and my connection with Turkey Al-Sheikh. So really, it's all down to Tyson Fury and Turkey Al-Sheikh where I got to. They both had full confidence in me, and they both give me rein to go and do whatever I wanted to do, and that's it.
That's really cool. Do you think that a lot of those experiences just came from, because I'm speaking for people who might be watching this, it was sort of fail forward, fail fast, try, don't ask too many questions, just try things and learn and grow as you go?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what you do, and you know always going to get it right. And one thing I know is that the British boxing fan are the best fan in the world. So we had to start with that, didn't we? The fan base was there, the people were there to go, and they had the appetite to watch these big fights. We just had to make them, and without the fans, there isn't boxing, is there? No. It's two guys in a ring in a gym somewhere. Yeah. Without fans. So it's all about the fans for me. It's all about giving them what they want. They're not always going to get what they want, and it's all about the experience. You go to a big fight when you're a kid. And you go to these big fights, you get hooked immediately. It's just and boxing is it's a drug. It's a drug. You get a massive high from it. Obviously, you get lows as well. A lot of lows. There's a lot of lows with it as well. A lot of times you think, fuck this, I can't do this no more. But then something else, and the phone goes again, and something else happens. So as long as you try and give the fans what they want, as long as you don't take the piss out of them, they'll always come back to watch boxing. It's a British institution that will never go away. We are the best. We're the best in the world at what we do. People will argue that, the Mexicans will argue that, the Americans will argue that, but we're the best at what we do, and woe betide the person who leaves British boxing behind, because it's the hottest place on earth for boxing. And don't forget, now with Saudi Arabia, it used to be Vegas. We used to flood over there. Ricky Hatton, God bless him. He started us all going to Vegas, and now it's all about Saudi Arabia. They've come in and they've done their job. They've put their money where their mouth is, and it's become like an Indian summer of boxing. Really, what they've done. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, and it feels like it's growing in all areas of the sport. It's not just it's just not just the main pro.
No, look, I mean, Australia is a very big place for boxing now.
I mean, in terms of amateurs.
And sorry, yeah. Well, look,
it feels like a lot more people are trying boxing.
There is a lot more people, but what we have got a problem with is the middle section of boxing, where people are trying to climb the ladder. The small hall shows, the small hall promoters. I don't know if people realise, but a lot of the small hall promoters lose money week after week. They have businesses, they have jobs, and I'll give you a prime example. There's a guy called Steve Wood. He should have a knighthood. The money he's lost in boxing. He's put so many great shows on all over the place, all small hall shows, but fantastic shows, and he's given a lot of boxers a great start. He's had a lot of champions, and they'll tell you that. And if we could put a bit more money into that side of it, I think that boxing wouldn't be so hard as it is now for somebody to get on the ladder. That middle section is just where we're sort of dropping down a bit.
Yeah, I've actually seen that in a few conversations before, like people saying that's the area that needs a little channel.
I think we need to put more money into it, and I think that's what we really need to do.
Because it's the steps as well. We don't have the people at the top if we don't have people in the middle.
You're 1,000,000% right, and unfortunately, it's the small hall promoters who get the brunt of it. Some of them do, like Callum Simpson. His small hall promoters, Kevin Marie. Now, Kevin Marie has put a lot of his own money into it. He's been doing it for a very long time, and he's not got the rewards of what he should have got. Basically, now he can carry on for the rest of his life doing that and putting money in and working outside of boxing. And sometimes you get a few good shows where he makes some money, but it just goes back in again. So it's the love of the sport for these people, the love of the boxers, and trying to get them up there to the upper echelons of it, which is not easy.
I do have a theory that boxing chooses the person, and then once you're chosen by boxing, you can't leave it alone.
You can't, but with that as well, there's a lot of. I mean, there's fighters I know. There's a couple of American fighters who are definitely could win world titles, but they're just simply not getting the chances to. They're not getting paid. They're washing cars, and they just can't get the money. And there's one in particular who came and sparred with TYSON, and he sparred with Moses Atuma as well. So that goes to show you the pedigree of this kid.
Yeah, of course.
Can't get a fight.
That's crazy.
He's washing cars, and it's a shame, and we're going to help him. We're going to help him get through it, but if there's not a lot of people that can help, because it's a financial black hole.
Yeah. And
Frank Warren will tell you that. For as many champions he's got 10 that never made it, and 10 that are now working on building sites, or they're a carpenter or whatever. They're probably making cabbies. They probably made more money doing that than they ever did in boxing. But that's the reality of the sport, and cream rises to the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
And that's it.
I mean, I could talk to you for hours, but my camera person, I'm sure, is having an achy arm holding.
I can see that. She's
the camera.
She's like that.
But just before we finish, obviously I've heard you speak about the potential of TYSON coming back, and it's sort of sitting on a 50-50, unsure, could be, could not be. Do you think there is even a smidge of a lean in any direction that he might come? I mean, my theory is he's coming back. I feel like he will. But
you know what? That's what's so enduring about it, isn't it? Everybody's he's not coming back. Yeah, he's coming back. I think he's coming back. This retirement's all bullshit. No, it's not. So it's he's very clever at narratives, TYSON.
Yeah, he is.
And what a narrative that is, because nobody knows what's going on. And we're close to him, but even we don't know what's going on, because TYSON's his own man. He if I sat down and pressed him, I still wouldn't probably get the answer I wanted to get. But
he'd tell you one, and then he'd change his mind.
Yeah, it's the next morning. He's in a great place at the moment. I spoke to him this morning. He was happy as a sun. Boy, he's looking forward to coming down, watching the boxing. But boxers, like I say, it's like a drug. Yeah. Boxing's like a drug, and it's very, very not very easy to get off drugs, is it? As we know. Maybe you should go in we should make up a rehabilitation centre for ex-boxers to get off the hook. Yeah, but no, look, I couldn't. It's an even money shot. Maybe 4 to 6 on in favour of him coming back. I don't know, but he's definitely not an odds-on shot at the moment.
And finally, prediction for Parker Wardley.
Parker outboxes Wardley and wins in 8, 9 or 10. That's what I think.
Brilliant. Spencer, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
If you have not got your pay-per-view for tomorrow, it is www.dazone.com/Rachel Rose. Make sure you buy it, because it's going to be an absolutely cracking fight. And also, if you buy the pay-per-view, you get 7 days free. Thanks very much, Spence.